It's so funny to me that America carry on like this. They should be absolutely wiping the floor with us. You've got some strong feelings on the 3x3.
Stupidest name, stupidest Olympic sport. It's now over, finished in week one, but the swimming has come and gone, and yet again, Australia lost to America in the pool. I think it was it 9-7 or 8-7 in the end, so it was close. But it wasn't to be. We still haven't got the wood over them since, I think, 1956 in Melbourne.
Yeah, so it was Melbourne, yeah.
It's a long time coming. The smugness isn't going anywhere. The Americans got us again.
No, the 68 years of pain continue. It was a fantastic program. And, I actually thought it was a really good swimming program because you had, countries like Ireland won their first men's gold in the pool, and Italy had quite a good tournament, and yeah, you just had a lot of different countries. It was really kind of good to see. But when America got over us at the end in the relays to continue being the smug dicks they are, it was kind of hard to take. I just really it's so funny to me that America carry on like this. They should be absolutely wiping the floor with us in this because, I just always look at the culture, the way that the sports are set up. In America, you've got high schools that have got pools. Did your high school have a pool in it, McCann?
Nah, no chance.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just where we go, we have to go to local areas where my kids learn to swim and then they eventually do squads. So maybe they can do that, but it's not like they stop in the middle of it. They can do it directly after school in the thing. And it's the same thing with athletics. It's why America is so dominant. And I'm really jealous of them, to be honest. I'm just jealous of that sporting culture. I'm jealous of the fact that you have athletics, meets and stuff like that in school. They have, where the whole school turns out and you have thousands of people and you have that culture of the college and everything that Australia just doesn't have. It's just, I really think Australia needs to kind of find a way to be able to generate that popularity and generate that parochialism that really builds on these Olympic sports to get us to actually compete. Because as much as it would have been great to see Rowan Browning go through the semi-final, I think it's kind of better to highlight that this is a problem that we need to actually address.
Oh, and you bang on. Their whole systems are built to basically build up and create these insane level athletes, because from high school all the way through until college, they're just, the majority of it is you're going to focus on this. Schooling is secondary. Whereas it's sort of the other way around. But I think that also speaks volumes to the Australian swimming team, because we took it right to them. We were right under their skin. And again, at this Olympics, we saw the age-old American tactic of, we've got the most medals, so we're on top. And it wasn't until the final day of the swimming that they actually did sort of finish on top of us. But in the lead up to it, all their medal tallies, and on one website, I'm not going to name the website, but it had the actual wording of, on Olympics websites and most other websites around the world, this is how they do it. On American websites, this is how we do it. And it's you guys are f***ing insane. For the Olympics, it's been gold is ranked first, not medal tally. We don't care about total medals. It's whoever has the most gold. And for 95% of the swimming, we had them. But it was just that last hurdle that they got us.
That publication was the New York Times. It was so embarrassing watching their news where it was just America are topping the medal count. We have 24 medals, 3 gold. And it's you're topping the medal count. Everyone around the world takes it gold first. Gold is all that matters. We should honestly do this per capita. That's what it comes down to. Per capita, we're on top. We're smashing it. Come on. It's such a joke, America. Get it together.
we're into week 2 now of the Olympics. The finish line is in sight, but the finish line has come for the Boomers, who lost to Serbia overnight, and it was not a great way to go out, not a great campaign overall.
No, one win out of 4. It's nothing they're going to hang their hat on. But I've got to say, it was a pretty gutsy performance from the Boomers. From my point of view, they I mean, Fever Paddy came back out and kept Australia in the game, but yeah, it's just Jokic. It's just that's what happens, you know.
He's the best player on the planet Earth for a reason. But I don't know about like gutsy. Yes, the first half was incredible, but they just royally shit the bed in the second half. Just turnovers all over the place. Giddy just lost his way offensively. It just without Paddy, like Giddy had a great game, but it was just we threw that one away.
Look, turnovers were the main thing the whole way through. That was why we lost games that we lost to. That's why Spain were probably as close as they were. But I think the thing with Giddy, the thing that like showed, because 25 points, right, good offensively and everything like that for a guy who doesn't contribute, probably like take the game like that for his club team. But I mean, for being the the slob wizard, that offensive turnover right at the end when the inbound that he threw and just gave the ball straight away, because all he had eyes was Paddy. Yeah. They knew they had Jokic on him. That was the wrong play at that time. Like we needed a score there, and I know that Paddy was the guy, but McVeigh was shooting like phenomenally all tournament. And yeah, look, we can go into that kind of stuff all day, but like I think it was still a pretty tremendous performance, because I didn't have a lot of hope going into this quarterfinal. I thought we were going to get the floor wiped with us, but
they exceeded my expectations. I believe before the Olympics, I said we won't win a game. We won one, so you know they've got me there. But I don't know. It was a campaign that started shrouded in anger and mystery, and it ends in heartbreak. And it's probably the right way to finish it, because we didn't really, with that squad, we left a lot of pieces on the table, and I don't know. It didn't
deserve a medal. We didn't deserve a medal,
and it's not how you want it to end, but it's probably what we deserved in the end.
Yeah, and I guess like the biggest controversy in the lead-in kind of came to light with Matisse not being there and giving us that extra defensive edge.
Well, and like as Shane Hill wrote for us today, you saw it throughout all 4 games that having him, even if he was on the bench for 2 or 3 games, just injecting him into certain moments would have been just monumental change and difference to those outcomes of the games. And yeah, for the reasoning why he wasn't taken, it needs to come out, because having Joe Ingles there, who was a glorified towel waver, is just stupid.
Well, I mean, Josh Green was also like I expected more from him, obviously, with like what he did in the playoffs, and that he was a good bit player, but not to score a point in the entire tournament and to go into the quarters where you don't play. Like it's not good enough. And yeah, I do wonder with this next generation if they're going to be able to, like we have Paddy at the moment where we can chuck in the ball and he seems to be able to score as a point when he's on. But, like, do we have anyone that's going to be that next person? Like, McVeigh was obviously good and he's going to be in the NBA this next year, but, like, we're not going to have a Paddy. Like, I just don't see as much success unless Giddy can all of a sudden find that, go to that next level, you know?
I can't see it at all. I mean, like, I hope that someone emerges, but right now we don't have that go-to gun that can get you 25, maybe 30 points at the drop of a hat, like Paddy has shown throughout.
Yeah, well, I think actually Shane Heal said earlier in the tournament, we need to develop shooters. We need to develop guys who can just score and score heavily, and have someone like Giddy and like someone who can pass the ball to them, and we'll actually be a really competitive team. Because I really think that old champion team what's better, a champion team or a team of champions? Like, I think Australia have proven in the past that we're a champion team. We're not necessarily full of champions, but yeah. Well, I guess that isn't the only only basketball that's happened in the Olympics. You've got some strong feelings on the 3x3, which is obviously the stupidest name in the Olympics. But yeah, you've got some strong feelings there, McKen.
Stupidest name, stupidest Olympic sport. Like, it's a gimmick. Why are we including this as an Olympic sport? And Jason Dunstall perfectly summed it up. It's nothing more than a gimmick, and now we're handing out medals for it. I believe the Chief's words were, "It sucks donkey dicks." Like, he's right. It's what are we doing? Well, you don't need two different variations of the same sport. I know people are going to point to swimming and say, "Well, there's 4 different variations. There's 5 different going on," but why do we need a full game of basketball and then a 3x3 in there? Like, it's just, I don't like. If you like it, that's fine, but for me, shouldn't be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, look, I quite liked it, and I like watching the Aussie girls doing well in it. But I don't know if that was just more an Olympics thing of just like following Australia and doing whatever. But I 100% get where you're coming from, though, because like the game was developed as a way to promote basketball, and now it's an Olympic sport. I also kind of think it's the thing that kind of gets me about rugby sevens. It's kind of perfect for the Olympics, but it does seem like very gimmicky. And then like I think Charlotte Caslick, like captain of the Australian team at the beginning of the Olympics, she was carrying on about how the women's rugby sevens team need to win a medal or they don't get any kind of coverage like the Matildas get. And it was very true, but it's like the Matildas play all the time. Like, they're playing overseas, yes, but like they're playing in very public places. I never know when a rugby sevens tournament's on. Like, you see it at the end because we see it because Rugby Australia send out emails, but you never know in advance, and it just feels like it comes around. This is the one time that it's actually important, and it's weird with these gimmicky kind of games.
Yeah, it's the promotion of it. Like, the governing bodies aren't doing enough. But it also, for me, if you're going to put this as an Olympic sport, you want big name players to draw people in. Like, if you're a diehard basketball fan, you want to watch it purely because, hey, this awesome player's playing. Gun to my head, couldn't tell you any of the players. I know one American player in Jimmer Fredette. Beyond that, I have no idea who the other 3 guys on Team USA were, which they're the powerhouse in basketball. And for them to really dish out 4 near nobodies shows that they don't give a shit about it either.
Let's leave the Olympics there. We'll turn our attention to what's happening in the local leagues. And McCann, what the hell has happened in Sydney?
They've gone from the first half of the season, us talking about them being arguably the greatest team that we've ever seen, and looking like they're going to not go undefeated, but go as close to Essendon's 2000 record.
Lose only to the Tigers.
Yeah. It was a genuine thought at about round 10 or 11 that this team might only lose once this whole season. And now we're at round 21 and they've lost 5 out of their last 6. All of a sudden, their systems just aren't clicking. They're getting, not only are they losing, they're getting absolutely pulverized week in and week out. And they just, I don't know what has happened, whether they focused and brought in to their own hype too much. And now they at round 11, they thought, well, we've got it done. We've won the flag. We've got the Brownlow wrapped up, like all of this. I can't explain it. They are shit.
Okay, week in, week out, getting smashed. They lost by 1 point, 2 points. They then beat the Kangaroos and then lost by 2 points.
Sorry, who did they beat?
The Kangaroos, yeah. I know. But still, they lost to the Tigers earlier in the season. Where are they?
But
Is it their only winner? They won 2 games this year.
Their last 2 losses are over 150 points.
But look, then, one of them takes up 112 of those points. But they lost to the Lions on fire. Like, you got to say that they're probably the best team in the comp right now. But that game on the weekend, I could have forgiven the other ones. But you look at how they lost to Port Adelaide, that was just horrific. Like that, if they win now, it's apparently the biggest loss by, well, it's the biggest loss by a team coming first, second biggest loss, apparently, because there was a team that was beaten by 150 in 1983. And they finished top of the ladder still. But if they win the flag now, it'll be the biggest loss ever by a team that's won the flag, because Carlton in 1945 had a 100-point loss. But, I just can't see them doing it. Like David King said on First Crack on Fox Footy, over the weekend, that he reckons that the Swans started thinking of Brownlows. This is where it all fell apart. This is, the second that the Isaac Heaney bullshit. They spent so much time and effort in that, and they didn't have a case. I thought it was harsh. I vaguely remember you didn't think at the time it was, you thought it was worth a week. But, I didn't think it was that harsh. I thought the, AFL had overreacted. But the way they tried the case was a joke. They went to the appeals board and said, well, we think that here's the same evidence that we gave the other day, so can you overturn it on that? And they were like, no, this is the same evidence you gave the other day. That's not the procedural thing. And then Heaney giving the press conference where it's oh, I'm sorry, I let my fans down. And then getting carried away with Toby Green teasing them about it.
Yeah.
Of course he was going to tease you about it. It's something that should be teased. But that's what it's come down to. It's just oh, now we're not going to win the Brownlow. And it's just the wheels are falling off. I don't know why the hell they've fallen off, because you'd think at this point you're looking at the finals and this is where you prime up for them.
Yeah. This is where as a team you need to be hitting your stride, whereas they did a Jacob Ingebrigtsen and they went out too early and now they're falling apart down the stretch when it matters, whereas Brisbane have gathered all the moss and are just steaming home. And Sydney would have been short and locked on favourites for the flag all of a month ago. And now you look at it and they're probably fourth, maybe fifth in line for it. And I think that is flattering them.
Yeah, they've got to be. Because the way that they played on the weekend, I think earlier in the season they were talking about the Lions not putting in and not going at the ball and how easy some of the passages were against them. That's what the Swans were on the weekend. Yeah. They were just standing there and watching.
And
the commitment that they showed earlier in the year, that's completely gone.
Yeah, I hope that they can turn it around and get back to where they were, because the Swans earlier in the season were unbelievable to watch. They were so much fun. But as we stand right now with a couple of weeks to go before the season finishes, I don't know if I can see them turning it around, and it's going to be potentially too late for them once the finals come around.
Exactly. Well, it looks like it's either going to be the Lions, the Bulldogs, or the or Port. Who would have thought Port coming back?
Give me a sneaky on Fremantle. I'll put that one on the board, I think.
I thought you were going to say the Demons.
No, God, no. Absolutely.
Nowhere near it.
No, we're cooked.
Cooked.
We're shit.
Cooked weeks ago. Yeah, you never know with Fremantle, but I just don't think they've done it enough in the big games, and they kind of anytime you think they're on a roll, they kind of fall off the roll.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to stick with them. I like them this year.
Yeah,
Flag Mantle for me.
Flag Mantle, yeah. I don't know. It's tough to know. I just thought it was just Swans premiership to lose, and now they're losing it.
Yeah, they've lost it. Now it's Brisbane who are the clear cut for me.